We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully your day is going well. By the time you hear this, it will be Wednesday. However, we're recording this on Tuesday night. We're doing a TikTok live. I just felt a compulsion to do a TikTok live tonight. I sit around here talking to myself a lot. I do the videos, and of course you hear those videos, but sometimes I need to interact with other people. I do get a chance with one or two people during the podcast. But when I do a TikTok live, this is maybe my favorite thing because I get the regulars that come on. That's always good to see them. But anybody who comes on this live, if you have a question, comment, want to offer some perspective, you're more than welcome to do it. There's a lot of people that asked to come on, and I try to get to all of them. I can be honest with you. I usually go an hour and a half because we don't need to go longer than that. But I will try to get to everybody who wants to be on the live. So get up there, request to go live with me, and we'll do our best to get you in the mix. Now, we have some of our friends out there that are coming up. I will give you a heads up, though. I talked to TJ, who's normally on the panel. He's a moderator. I think he's a moderator tonight. But apparently TJ was a little naughty in a live, and he won't be allowed to come on. It has nothing to do with me. I didn't say he couldn't come. TikTok's fucking with him. So in lieu of TJ, to start things out, we have Eric, the analytical Iowan. And I'm glad you showed up because I usually look at the wide sweeping things. You can narrow things down into specifics. And we got some real specific shit going on. The one thing I wanted to find out, Eric is from Iowa. He's the analytical Iowan. If you don't follow him, you need to follow him. But did you watch the press conference today?
Clips. I did not see the whole thing in its entirety.
I didn't see the whole thing either because I had fried food for lunch and it wasn't going to stay down if I watched the whole thing. But the interesting thing about this whole thing, we talked about Greenland. Mostly about Greenland. They didn't talk about Minnesota. But the one thing they didn't talk about at all, and I found it very strange, all these people in the press corps in the White House, not one motherfucker asked about the Epstein files, which is weird because the Epstein files were supposed to be released over a month ago by law, and they haven't been released. What'd you think about that?
Not surprised they didn't release the Epstein files or that they didn't talk about the files.
Right.
This is the one thing Donald Trump doesn't want to talk about, and they know it. So
right.
The press didn't push him on it. And they should, but they're not. And from the clips I saw of this 2-hour debacle, if you want to call it that, he was all over the place, weaving like 12, 15, 18 different topics, not actually getting to any sort of a point. And how anybody can listen to him talk for 2 hours and think he is in a good mental state is beyond me.
Yeah, this guy is not mentally all there. As I've said before in some TikToks, he not only is in a steep cognitive decline from the very beginning, he's a narcissistic, toddler, imbecile. I mean, over and above the decline, he is an idiot, absolute idiot. We've got Rebecca with us too. I brought her up right away because she's one of the moderators too, generally with her husband, TJ. Rebecca is the far better half, not just the better half, a far better half. And Rebecca, what the fuck's going on? Apparently TJ was naughty and he can't come on tonight.
Surprise, motherfuckers.
He's sneaking on.
I should have seen that coming, TJ.
Look, Rebecca's right here, but one of the dogs is not feeling well, so she's going to be taking care of the dogs, and I'm going to hang out.
Well, I'm glad we don't have any Trump-a-fucks on, because with that voice and the name Rebecca, we might fire up some Republicans.
That's okay. I know how to deal with them.
I just want to say, Teddy comes on here and says, hi, Mike, did you hear what Prime Minister Carney in his speech today? I did. I didn't hear all of it. I heard most of it. And what struck me more than anything, it was a welcome relief to hear from somebody who truly sounds like an intelligent, reasonable leader of a country. That was Mark Carney. And then we listened to Donald Trump, and it's like it's like listening to a drunken toddler. It's just so contrasting. It's ridiculous. Did you guys hear the speech?
I did not.
No, I didn't hear it either.
Wish I would have.
Well,
though.
you guys are fucking worthless. So anyway,
Not the first time I've heard
Anyway.
that today.
no, me either. No, so anyway, Mark Carney was up there, and Mark Carney is basically expressing frustration with dealing with Donald Trump. He said that it wasn't like it was differences with America and with Donald Trump. It was a rupture in the relations. That's a pretty serious thing to say with our most trusted cohort, ally, and trade partner. When they've decided that the relations between America and Canada are ruptured, that suggests they're done. It's over. They're not going to deal with us or him in this situation. That's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I mean, if they're saying they're done, what Donald Trump doesn't understand, and I said this before, he doesn't understand a lot, but what he doesn't understand is Canada owns some of our debt. So do almost all of our allies. They can call it and say, okay, pay up, motherfucker. We don't have the money to pay it. That's why we have debt. And they're going to have to scramble to find somebody else to work with. Problem is, he's pissing off everybody we work with. He's not going to be able to deal with it. And when our closest ally, one of our closest trading partners, is also saying we're done, it's going to affect the economy. There's going to be a lot of things that don't get sold if Canada says, hey, we're done. They're already starting. We saw, what was it, over a year ago, where certain places were taking American whiskey and stuff off the shelves because they couldn't sell it, or they weren't going to sell it. It's not getting any better, and he doesn't realize it.
As Donald Trump keeps talking about this Greenland thing, and the EU says they're going to do some things, trouble with Donald Trump is he thinks he's the biggest dog in the room all the time, that nobody can even compare to him. He can bully them. And that's how his strategy has been all of his life. Be a bully, make people submit, then run over the top of them. But he's gone too far with this Greenland thing. And what I don't think he understands, and maybe a lot of people don't understand, there is plenty that Europe and Scandinavia and other countries can do. First of all, they can do the economic bazooka. And I'm looking at all the things that America and these countries deal with together, from iPhones to automotive stuff to all those things. I was seeing that if Germany said, fuck you, we're not dealing with you, there'd be hundreds of Mercedes and BMW dealerships that would have to fucking shut down in this country if that happens. So there's the economic bazooka. Then there is the possibility of people saying, fuck it, we're going to sell off our treasury bonds, which is debt we have with these foreign countries, and we would be made to be paying back trillions of dollars. And if that weren't enough, they can also start closing a shitload of military bases that we have all through Europe. All those three things, if they were to happen, it would be absolutely devastating and crushing to this country economically and militarily and security-wise.
Yeah, and you also have to remember that Volkswagen has manufacturing plants in this country.
Right. But they got to get parts.
Yep.
I mean, the outcome from this would be worse than the 1929 Great Depression. Ultimately, it would
Probably.
And I've been saying before, this administration could usher in an era of Democrats having the power for 20 plus years, and maybe that's what needs to happen. trying to fix everything. Well, the Democrats aren't perfect. They're better than this shit show we currently have.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to pull somebody up here. I promised I'm going to bring people up. I'm going to bring somebody up. We'll see if they show up. Now they're not popping up. Again, I don't know what's going on with TikTok here. Here's one guy I know will show up. He's like a fucking bad penny. Trucker T. Hey, Trucker T. How you doing?
Hey, I am doing well. I think you guys must have watched a different speech than I did, because the one that I saw today was touting the 365 wins in 365 days.
Well, no, that's the other part of the Donald Trump thing, was that he was going through all the things he was successful at and how he brought down prices and all that stuff. You know why he did that, don't you?
Oh, yeah,
Because that was an
absolutely.
unusual situation. He's going off to Davos tonight, and he does this thing promoting all his stuff. It's because the polls are really bad. And did you hear what Donald Trump's explanation as to why everybody thinks prices are going up and everything's going to shit, even though he says the opposite? Did you hear what the reason for that is?
Well, I kind of heard something about Biden's omics or some crap. I don't know.
No, it wasn't that. It was his PR people aren't for shit.
Oh, give me
He
that.
said he has bad PR people. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, I
That's
heard
why we
that.
have high prices, because his PR people are bad.
Yeah,
Because they
that's
can't
Well,
lie
he
for
only
him.
hired the best.
Right, so they can't lie for him. Makes sense, got it. Did you also hear him say during his speech that uh, the majority of his ICE agents or Border Patrol are Hispanic, and he can't understand why the Hispanics are upset with him? And that's when I stopped. Well, I couldn't take it anymore.
it's the dumbest. I mean,
I want to bring something up with you guys. Somebody's pointed this out, and I think it's worth talking about because I think it scares some people. They're saying that Democrats have a 17% approval rating. Now, I think a lot of people believe that if the Democrats have a low approval rating, that means the Republicans will win. And that's just not the case. If you look at any poll with Donald Trump, he is underwater completely, with over 50% against him in everything from economics to immigration to all that sort of things. So people are thinking, well, if we don't like the Democrats, they're going to vote Republican. That's not really how it works. People are frustrated with the Democrats. I understand that. I am frustrated with the Democrats. I'm tired of them doing nothing. If anybody tells me again, well, just wait till 2026, I'm canceling those motherfuckers. You aren't in office to tell me to wait and just hold my ass. Here's the thing, that 17% approval rating is one thing with the Democrats, but another poll says that 87% of Democrats are anxious to vote. They want to be involved in the next election. And if you think they're going to vote Republican after the shit show we're dealing with here, it's not the case. It's people showing their disgust with Democrats. For many of these people, it might be the lesser of two evils, but they aren't going to vote Republican over Democrats in spite of how they feel as Democrats in a whole.
because they feel like that the Democrats aren't fighting hard enough. And quite frankly, I agree with them. Hakeem
Oh, I do too.
Jeffries is feckless. He's not doing shit. There's so much more they could do instead of writing strongly worded fucking letters. Like, that's not doing anything.
Exactly.
You know, they could get out there and talk about it and fight back and do some things, and they're not doing fucking anything. So that's why that but quite frankly, because of what's going on across the country, Democrats are afraid, and then rightfully they should be. So
Yeah.
if they think that they're going to go on Fox News and flaunt this thing about a 17% approval rating, they're going to learn something in November.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think people are always looking for things to worry about. I don't do that. I don't look for things to worry about. I look for things to be hopeful for, because you lead a better life when you fucking do that. It's just it. But you brought up Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, and I'll bring up Cory Booker too. As far as I'm concerned, those three are a waste. They might as well quit. We don't need them. and there may have been some other Democrats involved with this, but you heard the story that Democrats voted to extend another $10 billion to ICE. Now, people are going, why in the fuck would you do that? And their answer is, well, this is going to get them, this is going to get them body cams and better training.
Get the
Motherfucker, they got bigger budget than anybody.
They're not.
We
getting
need to
body
dissolve
cams. Are you
those fuckers.
fucking- Anyone who believes that ICE is getting body cams is a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I
That's
got a
not gonna
bridge to
happen.
sell them. Well, and
Yeah.
here's the other thing, Mike. Now, you got Democrats on the other side saying that they're writing a resolution to abolish ICE. So which one is it, right? Are we giving them 10 million, or are we going to abolish them?
Well, here's how big of pussies Democrats are. People have said you need to abolish ICE. I will say you need to abolish ICE. If for no other reason, Donald Trump and what's going on now has destroyed the name of ICE. Even after they're gone and maybe even they straighten ICE out, the PR for this group is going to be bad no matter what. Get rid of it, come up with something better, train them better, get body cam. I don't give a fuck, but you got to get rid of ICE because nobody's ever going to look on it favorably after the shit they're doing in Minneapolis and in other cities. But the Democrats are afraid to say that. You know why? Because they took a beating when people started saying defund the police. Not the same thing. It's not.
Yep.
That was a stupid comment they made back during George Floyd. Abolishing ICE for killing people in the streets. Good fucking idea.
Question for you, Mike. So
Yeah.
you're in Minneapolis, right? And the sheriff came out today and said that ICE was stopping his off-duty police officers. Is that true? And harassing them?
Yeah, I heard that. And I also heard a Minneapolis resident on TikTok too getting a little pissed off. You know, I think ICE is looking at other areas like Philadelphia. We'll talk about that in a moment. But you didn't hear shit out of the Minneapolis police or the sheriff's department while this has been going on. The moment we're coming closer to the end and they push back on the police department, now they're acting tough. These police, I'm not a big fan of Minneapolis police. I grew up in South Minneapolis. I dealt with Minneapolis Police Department. I had friends and that were working for the Minneapolis Police Department. I will tell you this: in the 70s, when I was a teenager, the Minneapolis Police Department was known as the Goon Squad. They were very similar to ICE when it came to the younger people in that town. They would kick your ass as opposed to arrest you. Now, I don't know if they're like that anymore, and I'm not going to make that judgment. I don't live in Minneapolis. But it takes a lot of balls that after all that's gone on, when they get pinched in the ass, finally they say something, and they're there to protect us. I'm a little put off about that kind of behavior.
Yeah, that was my thought. I figured it was an afterthought where, hey,
Yeah.
it's one of those not in my backyard kind of things where, hey, do what you got to do, but just don't do it in my backyard. Once it affects me, then
Yeah.
I'll say something.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to check and hold on. I'm going to check and see if we got some people out there ready to wade in. Let's see. All right, let's go with this gentleman. Hopefully he shows up. Hey, no, he doesn't.
Yes.
What the fuck? Oh, wait. Oh, he is. Doug. There you are, Doug. Thank you. Doug Robb is the name on this account. And Doug, how are you doing and what's on your mind?
I'm doing great, thanks, Boomer. And
Great.
your actual name is Mike. Can I call you Mike?
You can call me Mike. You can call. I get called a lot of things, and it doesn't really matter to me. But Mike is fine. That's my given name.
Oh, okay. I saw earlier today, and is there a police force there called Brooklyn Ridge or something similar to that? Or?
Well, we have a Brooklyn Park and a Brooklyn Center.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Brooklyn Park is the bigger of the two cities.
Okay, I think it was Brooklyn Park. That sounds familiar. But it was a video. Ostensibly, the guy had 2 stars on his shoulder, so I assume chief or deputy chief. But he
Okay.
was weighing in pretty strongly against ICE. because there was like a group of police chiefs in this video, and they were all sharing their stories of off-duty police officers who had been harassed, detained, roughed up by ICE. And I think they reached a critical point with these police chiefs. I mean, according to what they're saying, you know the area much better than I do, but they were
Well,
really
Brooklyn,
going after him. I mean, and it didn't seem fake to me. It seemed like they were pretty pissed off.
no, I agree. Brooklyn Park is a bigger suburb, a northwestern suburb of Minneapolis. It has, a nice area and it has a rough area. Mostly a nice community. And that's my point. Where has this outrage been over the last 2 weeks, though,
I
when
agree.
all this shit has happened? I mean, if you've got people, whether they be federal agents or not, killing people in the street, dragging old men and children out of their houses without clothes in the cold, 5 degrees below zero, this outrage should have been there on day one. Now, I'm not saying the police aren't in a tough situation. And I'm not saying that all police didn't do their job. But when you talk about Brooklyn Park and their outrage with this situation, I hear a lot of outrage. But when I talk about Tim Walz or I talk about Mayor Fry or the police departments, it's great to be mad. We're all motherfucking mad. What are you going to do about it? Because we turn to you for the help. We turn to you for the protection. Don't just get mad with us. Tell us what you're going to fucking do. And that's the problem. The
Yeah.
police departments don't have a lot of authority to do anything.
Well, we're getting to a point. It's like with the Supreme Court giving Trump unqualified immunity.
Right.
It's getting to a point where we're going to have to draw the line. In 1775, we drew the line, and we took on the largest standing army and navy in the entire planet, and we said, that's it. We're done. We're not going to play by the rule. The rule of law that you're forcing down our throats is perverted. It's a perverted version of the law. And I agree. Right when this happened, I was saying, where is Walz? Why is he not mobilizing the National Guard, the Minnesota National Guard, to go along with ICE and monitor their activities? And if they witness an act that is clearly unconstitutional or illegal, then they have a right to intervene on behalf of the state of Minnesota. And is that pushing the line? You're damn right it is. And I'm not seeing leadership from people like Tim Walz.
I'm seeing no leadership from anybody. I'll say up front, I like Tim Walz. I voted for Tim Walz. He's done some great things. And I also grant that he's in a tight situation. He mobilizes the National Guard. There's apparently a brief window where Trump could come in and federalize them and take it away. I don't think that can happen now. But the other aspect he's got, okay, ICE is in there, and he sends the National Guard in. National Guard isn't typically brought in any place to fight. They're there to, do traffic and protect the people trying to do their jobs, police departments and whatever. But then you see an unconstitutional thing. Somebody kills somebody. It would be a natural thought that the National Guard would go and say, you can't do that, arrest them or do whatever. But I don't think that's what happens. That's the problem. I think Walz is concerned about if we get to the point where the National Guard is fighting the federal government, now we got a civil war. And you make a good point. We keep backstepping on this shit, and he keeps pushing forward. That's what happens with bullies. If you let them slap you once, he'll slap you again. At some point, you got to slap them back. And apparently that's a tough decision for people.
You got to hit them so hard that you knock them down is what you got to do.
Absolutely. And keep them down.
Yeah.
You got to keep them down. Yeah.
If the Minnesota National Guard, let's just say for the sake of, an example, if they were at the site when Renee Good was murdered, I'm sorry, am I supposed to say, I have to say unalive? they clearly saw an unconstitutional event. The rules and regulations of ICE are very clear. They are there for immigration enforcement. They are not, under any circumstances, empowered to stop American citizens, legitimate American citizens. And Renee Good was a legitimate American citizen. The moment that they saw Jonathan Ross try to flee the scene, they should have intervened and apprehended him and said, "You don't leave the scene of a homicide. That's against the law. That's
Well,
a
exactly.
violation."
And I'll take it a step farther with you. The National Guard was not there, so they didn't have the opportunity to do that.
Right.
But the Minneapolis Police Department was there. The Minneapolis Police Department witnessed a murder. This guy walked away from the car where he shot in, walked unencumbered. He didn't have a limp. He wasn't bleeding. He walked over to the car and he bolted the fuck out of there like the little bitch he is.
Yeah.
So, and why were that was my
Hey.
question. Why didn't the Minneapolis police arrest him? He
Exactly.
committed a crime in front of him.
I agree with you.
He did it with malice too. He said, "Fuck that bitch."
Yep. Hey,
Yeah, we
Mike.
all-
Exactly.
Hey,
I
Mike.
think
Real
everybody's
quick,
heard the video.
not to interrupt.
Yeah,
but
trucker.
there's a lady in the comments. Sweet Tea says that Air Force One was turned around because it had electrical issues. Just happened.
Um,
Oh, what
I-
a
I-
shame! What a shame.
I'm sorry they found those before he could get over the ocean. That's unfortunate.
Well,
Sorry, I had to get that out.
so that was just reported, or was that earlier today?
She said it
It must
just
have just
interrupted her.
happened.
Yeah, she said it interrupted her TV show, and it said that breaking news: the Air Force One was turned around because of electrical issues.
Electrical issues, and that is just code for they ran out of Big Macs and
And-
Depends.
The other two prime ministers didn't want to speak with him, so down in Davos, so he decided, fuck this, I'm gonna turn this bitch around and going back.
So you think he maybe just canceled the whole thing and just headed back?
That's just me. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think he got his
doubt it.
feelings hurt because nobody wanted to talk to him.
Yeah, because he's a bitch.
Because in these situations, we've crossed the line actually when it comes to these illegal orders. Mark Kelly is a pretty intelligent guy. You have to be an astronaut. They don't just send goobers, from pig farms into space. And Mark Kelly has seen this happening. That's why he made that speech about
Yeah.
your duty as an American soldier under the oath that you took to deny illegal orders. And I think he clearly saw it coming to this weeks or months ago, where he said, sooner or later, somebody's going to have to stand up to Trump and say, this is an illegal order. And have you seen the gentleman that does the daily broadcast? He's an ex-MAGA, and he's worked with geriatric and frontotemporal dementia patients
yeah.
and Alzheimer patients.
Yeah,
I love that guy.
And well, I've vetted him for a long time, because when he said he was ex-MAGA, I thought, okay, what's this guy up to? What are his actual loyalties? But over time, he won me over, and his diagnosis of Trump, both physically and mentally, have been spot on. I mean, he's been able to absolutely document everything that he has said, showing that Trump is mentally debilitated to the point where they should have invoked the 25th Amendment a couple of months ago. And
Well, yeah. Well, when Trucker said that they turned the plane around because of electrical issues, that could be true. It could be a problem with Donald Trump. I mean, you take an old man and run him across the ocean, put him in the airplane for a long time. That takes a lot out of somebody, and especially if you're not in good shape anyway. It could be any of those things. I mean, the sad thing about the Trump administration, whatever they tell us, we know it's probably a lie. There's some ulterior motive for what is going on. But Doug, I wanted to ask you something. You talked about the military. Another thing that could be coming into play here too is We know that he's mobilized, not mobilized, but activated 1,500 paratroopers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the presumption is he's going to send them into Minnesota. Do you think that? Do you think that's the pivot point for the military? They either say we're doing it or we're not doing it. And if they decide to do it, all is lost in terms of the military?
I get the feeling that it may not be as cut and dried in that as that. I think that there are elements in the military who are blindly loyal to Trump. I think there are elements in the military who absolutely can't stand Trump. So my guess is there would be some extreme internal division, with people who are going, look, this is it. This is wrong. This is illegal. I did not sign on to go into Minnesota and shoot American citizens or fight American citizens. Everything, right. This is, I blame us, and I'm not saying you. I mean, you've been one of the people that I've followed from day one of this mess, long before even Trump got reelected. And
right. I get it.
And I find your take on things to be very, very accurate and very, very well reasoned out. But I think that there's an element in the military that absolutely can't stand Trump. I mean, we saw that dog and pony show where he brought in all the admirals and the generals from various worldwide commands and shoved them all in that room and made them listen to Trump's moronic BS. And also Hegseth, who, I mean, if Trump is unhinged, Hegseth is out on Pluto. And the look on their faces, I watched their faces very, very carefully to try to get a bead on their reaction. And I think their reaction as an entire group was, this is total ridiculous BS.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they looked at this, and I would not be surprised among certain superior officers, 3 and 4 star generals who are pretty high up the military decision-making and administrative food chain, who are maybe even at this moment putting together a plan. Trump is not invincible.
No,
Trump is not.
He's not.
We found out 22nd of November in '63 in Dallas that a president of the United States can be unalived in this country, and if anybody who's followed that can tell you, that the official story we got is absolute garbage. So I think there's already an element of people who are saying, you know what, he keeps pushing us. This is what he's doing. He's pushing us. He wants an armed conflict so that he can bring in the military through the Insurrection Act. He wants to try to lock down certain cities. And what he's going to get is a wholesale national rebellion if he tries to do it, because that will be the straw that breaks people's backs. And, in our country, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on your point of view, we got a heck of a lot of weapons. The people of France don't have as many weapons as we do. The people of even Germany don't have as many weapons as we do. And, there are going to be people around the world who are also going to snap when it comes to Trump. And that's going to be a major turning point, I think, because they're finally going to say, you know what, we got no choice. There's only one way to solve this.
Well, the other thing that you have to consider with this insurrection thing, I know there's a lot of people terrified of him invoking the Insurrection Act in Minneapolis. For me, I say, fucking do it. You started something you won't be able to stop. Just by sheer numbers, there are 2.1 million active members of the military. 2.1 million. That would be every military personnel coming to the United States. Right. During No Kings, just No Kings alone, without any real provocation other than what we've normally had, there was 7 or 8 million people to come out. You can't do insurrection on every fucking city in the country with those kinds of numbers. And if the people do start to revolt, You can call it Insurrection Act. You can call it pom-pom pull away. It ain't going to fucking work.
Well, yeah, I agree. I think there's a certain percentage of people in our military who are just going to go, that's it. I've had enough.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you know, like I said, they didn't sign on to shoot their neighbors or their neighbors' kids. And, you know, this is what we're talking about here. And, you know, I'm a big believer. Two things need to happen. These are the things that I think absolutely the American people should start demanding at the top of their lungs and not relent until they get the result. And the first one is Trump must be forced by whoever it takes to force him to do it, to undergo a complete physical and psychiatric evaluation by independent doctors. Doctors not
Agreed.
chosen by Congress, doctors not chosen by the Trump administration, doctors not chosen by Republicans. Independent experts in the field, the best medical doctors we can find, the best psychiatrists we can find to diagnose Trump. I think at the end of that diagnosis, they're going to go invoke the 25th Amendment, get him the hell out of here. I think that's
Yeah,
going to be
but-
their take.
Wouldn't you agree, though? I've said all along, I've said it 100 times. I'll keep saying it just to remind folks. There is a group of people that could have stopped this a long time ago.
Yep.
The reason we are in the position we're in now is because they allowed Donald Trump to run rogue. And I'm talking about every Republican in Congress. They've been too afraid or too complicit, and they've allowed him to do whatever he wants, no matter how fucking crazy it is. And as long as those Republicans continue to let him run roughshod over this country, it's hard to stop him, save for choking on a Big Mac or a drive-through Dealey Plaza. You know, that's the unfortunate thing.
That's true, but like I said, it's coming down to a point of, are we going to respect these people that we know are corrupt, that we know have sold out, that we know are no longer a reasonable part of the system that we've grown to rely on over 250 years? You know,
Right.
there's a point where we don't have to take it. We don't. And I don't care who's in power. I don't care who's sold out. I don't care who claims, you know, I'm going to listen to Mike Johnson. Bullshit. I'm not going to listen to Mike Johnson. I'm going to punch Mike Johnson in the face so hard he doesn't get up. And
If I wanted to talk to Mike Johnson, I'd get a Grindr account. No, I won't do that.
Ain't that the truth? But you know,
Yeah.
it just, you know, like I said, it's getting to the point where I watch this. I mean, Alito, look at Alito, you know, in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is supposed to be the most measured, neutral body in our government for interpreting laws and interpreting the constitutionality of laws. This guy is flying right-wing extremist flags from his house. The thing, you know,
Right.
Clarence Thomas is absolutely bought and paid for by this billionaire clown, Harlan Crow. He's not even secretive anymore about it. He flaunts it right out in the open. When we come to this kind of place with our leaders, these so-called leaders, there's a moment when we can, you know, it says right in the Declaration of Independence, when that government no longer serves the needs of the people have the right to overthrow that government and replace it with a government that does represent the needs of the people. That's written in our language.
Yeah, that's in the Second Amendment, and people misread the Second Amendment. That's why that Second Amendment is there. It's not to randomly unalive brown people
Yeah.
with as many things as I want. See, they misinterpreted. Doug, I'm going to let you go because I'm going to try to get a bunch of people up here. I really appreciate you coming on. You offered a lot to us, and please come back, and we want to have you back up on here too.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you very much. Like I said, I've followed you for a long time, and we need a whole lot more people like you.
Well, I appreciate that very much. It is very gratifying when people listen for long periods of time, and because I don't know that I could get my wife to listen to me this long. So that's wonderful. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate it.
Okay, y'all have a
Hey, real
This
quick.
is yeah.
Real quick. We got some dumb fucks coming in here, so everybody in here, don't interact with these motherfuckers. I'll deal with them. Just ignore them and let me deal with them.
Yeah.
Got one down
TJ
there
makes
now.
a good point. Yeah, don't interact with Trumplafucks. They're inconsequential. Their time is short. We don't need to hear from them. Big people are talking now, so Trumplafucks can just cool the fuck out. TJ's going to get you. Rebecca and everybody else out there are going to get you too, so don't waste your time. Okay, let's see here. Let's pull up. God damn it. There she is. All right, good. Optimistic.
Hey, you
We need
guys.
a little optimism. Hey, how you doing? I'm living in Minnesota. It's cold as a motherfucker. It's gray. I need a little sunshine. So optimistic is here.
I don't know if I'm going to be any sunshine, though. I really am concerned
Gosh.
about NATO coming undone.
Yeah. You think that's possible? I mean, do you think Donald Trump will really make the step toward Greenland? And I don't, I understand that the United States plays a big role in NATO, but that doesn't mean the other countries can't stick together. I'd be surprised if they wouldn't.
That's a good point, since they're not giving us their intelligence anymore.
Yeah,
That's a good
absolutely. What's your biggest fear right now, Optimistic? Yeah, Optimistic. Tell us what you think sucks.
Oh my God. Mystic, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good. I could use $100,000 that he's allegedly promising to Greenlanders.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We all know that.
Well, you would know of all people since you're in the industry how money is regulated and where it goes and how it could go if you don't have it. Like, say, I don't know, if you're trillions of dollars in debt, how are you going to come up with 700 billion plus another 708 billion to give to the Greenlanders?
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. And did you guys hear him today saying that we have 15 new auto manufacturing companies that he is starting? I'm like, what is he talking about?
He's making stuff up.
Yeah, he's just pulling shit out of his ass. Literally.
Christ.
Actually, he has somebody do that
it a
for
10
him. I'm
steak?
sorry.
Yeah, wet wipes.
What? A 10 steak, yeah.
Well, the guy's name was Wet Wipes. That's what they dubbed him. The one who cleaned up behind Trump.
Wow.
How would you like to have that fucking job? How would you like to have that job assignment?
You couldn't pay me enough.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine the interview? What are you good at?
Listen, I'm a plumber, and I'm not taking that fucking job.
To take that job, you must need a motherfucking job. I tell you that right now. Just to be in a room in the proximity of Donald Trump is bad enough, but having to deal with his vile, toxic waste, you better have health care, for fuck's sake.
But
So optimistic. I want to bring up the Greenland thing. The one thing we were talking about the military, we understand, or it was leaked out, or somebody said it, that the military already told him, yeah, we're not going in there because that would be bad news. Do you think that's
really?
legit? Do you think, yeah, the military, somebody from the military, I don't even remember where I got this. It was from a source that I trusted, but I still don't believe everybody. But apparently the military has already told Donald Trump, yeah, we're not going into Greenland. But that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. We've got members of Congress says, yeah, I'm not going to vote for that, and then gets a call and does it. So who the fuck knows here?
well,
Josh
hopefully,
Hawley.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go
No, I'm
ahead,
sorry. I didn't
Optimistic.
think I thought I was muted. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Hopefully, the Greenland thing is the red line. Hopefully, Congress will have some cojones at this point. Hopefully, this is the red line. Like, okay, this is it.
Well, according to Dan Bacon, the representative from Omaha, the Republican, he was quoted as saying, if Donald Trump moves on Greenland, the Republicans have the votes to impeach and remove Donald Trump. And he said both. Now that tells me what I've been saying all along is they're having conversations behind closed doors. They're just
Yeah.
deciding when do they have to draw the line. And as I was talking about on my live last night, I think when they pull that trigger, you are going to see one of the fastest impeachment proceedings in history. It's probably going to be, they're not going to say, we're going to draft articles. It's going to be Dan Bacon stepping up to the thing. I want to vote on this right now. They're going to have the votes. It's going to be over and done in minutes. They're going to move it over to the Senate same day, and they're going to start the trial to give Donald Trump no time to prepare, to start the public outcry, to run his normal gambit of bullshit. I think when they make it, everybody's going to be surprised that it happened and happened as quick as what's going on.
So we won't see the brown suitcases down the hallway.
Yeah. Well, you know what I find troubling about this whole thing? When I heard Don Bacon say this, I thought, oh, great, a red line. And then I started thinking about it. I thought, okay, Greenland's the red line, but illegally imposing tariffs and crashing the economy, not a red line. Zip tying, detaining and deporting citizens of this country, caging little kids, grabbing old men out of their house in sub-zero temperatures in their underwear, killing a woman on the street. None of those things were a red line for Congress. But boy, you fuck with Greenland, that's the red line. That troubles me about our Congress. They were willing to let things go until it got international, and now they're worried.
Well, yeah, because they're not stupid enough to destabilize NATO. Like, they know that that's the worst thing that could ever happen. Even they won't cross that line.
Well, and one of the things is it's the last straw for the Republicans, not the last straw for like the Democrats. There's been several attempts to impeach and remove Trump, mostly by Al Green of Texas, but still,
Right. Right.
they all get shelved and shoved to committee. They don't have any power to do anything. This is coming from
Right.
the Republican side of things, and that is where, like TJ said, they're not willing to make that leap and go, we're going to destabilize NATO because of what it could lead to. The fact that his own party is saying it, it tells me that we're getting closer and closer to them saying enough's enough.
Well, Eric, you and I have talked about this even right after he got elected. People say, will he get impeached? Will he do this? Will he do that? And we both suggested he will only get impeached if the Republicans get behind it. And people always said that'll never happen. And I think you and I foresaw things getting bad, maybe not this bad, but that opportunity for the Republicans to realize he's a liability, no longer an asset, and just want to cut bait. We may be looking at the precipice of this if Donald Trump is dumb enough to try to continue to do it, and it appears he is. See, Donald Trump's fatal flaw is when you tell him not to do something, he definitely does it. He doubles down, he triples down. I just hope he triples down enough to get impeached, but not enough to do damage. That's a thin line.
Mike, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Trump always says he's got the biggest and the best stuff, right? I mean, you said it earlier. He's the biggest guy in the room, right? He can't even get his fucking plane over to Davos. I mean, what does that say about us?
Well, I just read something in the comments. Somebody saying he turned the plane around and got another plane. So apparently he is still going to Davos.
Right, I get
which
that. But
I love that because he's going to embarrass himself so much. I can't wait to watch it on television.
But my thing is, okay, America, you're so great. We are the superpower, but we can't even power our own fucking plane over there. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, that's a little troubling. That's a little trouble. I'm thinking he got out a couple 100 miles. He said, "Fuck, we're out of Big Macs and quarter pounders.
Turn this
We
plane
gotta fucking
around.
get back there.
Can't forget the fillet.
I don't want salmon, motherfucker. I want a fish fillet."
Sir, that's impossible. No, it's not. I'm the president. Turn it around. I get it.
Question for you guys. We'll say if Trump does get impeached, do you think that ICE will calm down?
Yes.
The temperament will. Okay, good.
I think.
I think. Go ahead, Eric.
Well, I think you're going to see when Donald Trump is gone, if he gets removed, you're going to see very quickly and quietly J.D. Vance moving people around. You're going to see Kristi Noem, Pete Hegseth, Dr. Oz. They're going to disappear. Pam Bondi. They're going to be replaced with his own people because that's what every new president does. They bring in their own. He's going to be able to get better qualified people, and he's going to back off this ICE shit because once he moves, he's going to be given if they impeach and remove Trump, I think J.D. Vance will be given very strict marching orders by the party, by the Republican Party, saying, fix this shit. We got to get ready for 28, and we need to get rid of any ties of any of those stuff that people were complaining about Donnie. Just don't draw attention to it, but just end it.
Right. They're going to tell him to walk on eggshells is what they're going to do.
Yeah, you know, people in the comments and other people I've talked to will say, well, JD is just as bad as Donald Trump. First of all, JD is completely controlled either by the tech bros or the Republican Party. He's so easily manipulated. He's a wimp. There's nothing to him. If the Republicans are smart, and I realize that's a fucking stretch, but if they're smart, when Donald Trump is out of the mix, out of the equation, they're going to immediately go into try to rehabilitate themselves, settle things down, because they just impeached Donald Trump, their Lord and Savior. So now they're going to have to change their ways a little bit. And I think you will get ICE out of the cities. That won't happen anymore because it's just not a good look. Right. They're not going to want J.D. Vance to suffer over Donald Trump's poor decisions. So they're going to try to settle things down and try to rehabilitate. It won't work, but I think things will settle down a little bit if Donald Trump's out of the mix. Got to cut the head off the snake.
Two things real quick from the comments. One, somebody said, well, we don't want J.D. Vance. Like I said, J.D. Vance is going to be, if they remove Donald Trump, assuming the Big Mac doesn't get him, or Donald Trump doesn't get spooked and decide to pull a Nixon and leave in exchange for a pardon, they're going to give him marching orders. J.D. Vance is going to be very easily for the party establishment to control. And he doesn't have the same hold over the Republicans, hold over the MAGA base that Donald Trump has. They're going to be more willing to do that. The other thing I saw was somebody said, well, what is the amendment that removes the whole administration? There isn't one. They would have to impeach and remove everybody separately. You can't. I mean, they could charge them all in one group and hold one big trial, but they don't. You can't get rid of. You can't just say, well, we got Donald Trump on this charge. Everybody's gone. It doesn't work that way.
Well, hold on a second.
There is some exceptions to that.
The 25th Amendment means that he gets removed, the vice president gets removed, and the cabinet gets removed.
No.
25th Amendment? No, that's not
25th
true.
Amendment says Vance moves up and becomes president.
What? I think there's an exception if treason is involved, and I don't know what it is, but I've heard somebody explain it to me.
About.
The way I've read that one, where it says if for treason, it read to me, and maybe I'm not a constitutional law scholar, like this isn't my full area, but I think they were just saying these are the people who could be removed for those charges, not charge the president. Everybody goes at once.
But it would have to be individually. That's how I understand it.
Yeah.
It's not the 25th Amendment. It's, shit. Hold on.
Well, yeah, I've talked to people about this before. There is, and it only makes sense that you can't just go in and wipe everybody out and have nobody in that position. You can get rid of the president because you got somebody to back him up in terms of the vice president. But, if what you're saying is true and they wipe away everybody, then temporarily, at least, Mike Johnson becomes president. I don't think we want that.
No.
Yeah, we don't want that either. So, no, I think what they have to do would be they would charge Donald Trump, remove him, and then we wouldn't have to worry about most of the rest of the administration. Vance would end up removing most of them himself. I think about the only person he keeps would probably be Marco Rubio. And that would be it. And again, for everybody in the comments, because I know some people are going to freak out, just because J.D. Vance moved up does not make Mike Johnson the VP.
No, it doesn't.
Vance would get to pick
Hold
his
on.
own VP, and they would be voted on by a majority of the House and the Senate. And
Wait a
odds
minute.
are it would be somebody approved by the Republican majority, the party as a whole, and it would probably be a reasonable Republican. It's not going to be a MAGA person.
I know where I read this. I just remembered it. It's Article 2, Section 4 of the Constitution. The President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States, which is the cabinet, right? All civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanor.
Right.
But
that's
see
each
what
one.
it's not saying. Yeah, you got to get each one on the treason thing. You can't just randomly say, okay, he's gone, so all of you are gone. That's what it says. But what it means is each one of them has the ability to be removed for treason.
Yeah.
It
That'd be
doesn't
like
say
saying,
if Donald Trump is found treasonous, everybody goes.
that'd be like saying, TJ, you picked on Jay or Liam in your last live, and I get a 72-day or 72-hour ban.
Yeah, I'm the only one that got that.
Wow.
Well, I've gotten a couple over time. Somebody asked a question, and I'll try to answer it best I know, or it's my opinion. It's not a fact. Will J.D. Vance push to release the Epstein files? Quick answer, no, he won't, because he's obliged to the wealthy people that want it held back. It's not just Donald Trump. However, I've said before, and I'll see if you guys agree with me, once Donald Trump is out of the mix, he's the one holding all this back. Once that power is gone, and once that fear of whatever retribution Donald Trump may or may not do, the shit starts coming out. Whether the entire files get released or not, I don't know. I still think as long as Donald Trump's out and about and in power, they're not going to release the files. That means you may have to wait till 2028 when you get a Democratic president. But I think between now and then, you're going to get people so upset about it as they are now, and you're going to see leaks. You're going to see more from the Epstein estate. If we get complete control of the Oversight Committee in 2026, you're going to see a lot more stuff released. And as I've always said, we don't need all the files, at least initially. To get Donald Trump out, we need one picture, one video, one document, one thing to implicate him unquestionably. And he's done. And once he's done, the power of holding it back has been weakened immensely.
Let
that.
me circle back real quick about what we just talked about. Okay, you guys said no, you can't wipe everybody out, and you're right about that.
Right.
However, Kristi Noem and Pete Hegseth are committing high crimes and misdemeanors. Hegseth ordered the murder of people in Venezuela, and Kristi Noem is violating civil rights, which is a high crime, right?
Right. Right.
So those are the two biggest problematic motherfuckers in the administration. So
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
it's Pam Bondi too.
and probably Stephen Miller, yeah. So I think it's plausible to say that would apply to Noem, Miller, Hegseth, and I lost the last one, but it would apply. I think it would apply.
Well,
because high crimes would be considered not just treason. Like nobody's going to get hit with treason probably, but at least high crimes and misdemeanors for sure.
No, you're absolutely right that all of those people, Pam Bondi included, Kash Patel, all these people could be impeached for very numerous reasons. The point is that if they get Donald Trump out, we're going to have to go one by one and take each one of them out if they're not already fired by J.D. Vance. And a lot of that's going to come after Republicans are completely out of power. Impeachment won't be the big issue. It'll be trials.
But my point is that Vance is going to know this, right? So he doesn't
Yeah.
want a scandal. He doesn't want a scandal with Hegseth. He doesn't want a scandal with Noam. He doesn't want a scandal with Kash Patel. He's going to wipe them the fuck out of there.
Yes.
Is what I'm getting.
Oh,
at.
yeah,
I
no
believe that,
question.
yes.
No question.
Because the
No,
threat
he'll
will
be gone.
The threat will be looming on all of them.
Yeah, well, here's the thing with Vance, though. I don't know if you guys saw the announcement that he had today and how MAGA just lost their entire shit over on Twitter. That when he announced that he's having his fourth child with his wife, they are absolutely losing their shit right now, and it's
Yeah.
insane.
I posted something on Facebook. I announced that J.D. Vance's wife, Usha Vance, that immigrant, anyway, she's pregnant with her fourth child. And my statement on it was that apparently JD's a little concerned about whether or not he's the father. So he sent a couch cushion in to get DNA results to guarantee whether or not he's the father.
Somebody in
So-
the comments called him a couch jumper.
But
Yeah, can I send you a cushion from my Barca lounger just to make sure it's my kid?
I saw some posts where people were questioning when they're going to name it, the child. Of course, suggestions being naming him Donald and all sorts of stuff. And it wouldn't surprise me if they do that. And, not to be a conspiracy theorist, because, there's no proof that anything's actually going on between the two. But I wonder what Erica thinks of all this.
Yeah. Does she feel betrayed? Yeah, Erica. I don't want to talk about Erica because everybody gets so butthurt about Erica and Chuck and all those fucking idiots. I don't even care about them because we got bigger fish to fry. Optimistic, thank you for coming on. I'm going to pull some other people up. I appreciate it. Come on every time I'm doing this. Please do.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a good night, you
All right.
guys.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you. She just makes me smile when I hear her voice. She's so positive, even when she's being negative. It's awesome.
Yeah, talk about her Steelers though. So you get a whole another side of her.
Talk about her what?
The Pittsburgh Steelers, and you get a whole nother side.
Yeah, that's right,
Yeah.
bitch. That's right,
That's
bitch.
right. I'm going to pull up another young woman who's obviously has some great insights. We have Matrix with us. Hey, Matrix, how you doing? What's
Good
pissing
evening,
you off
gentlemen.
today?
Say repeat the question one more time.
No, I just said, what's pissing you off? It's funny. We bring Optimistic up here. I smile. And when Matrix comes on, I hear her voice. I just sit the fuck up straight.
Okay, so what's actually pissing me off is the stupid little conference that he had today. I'm walking in, or you can walk down the streets of DC now, and you and your lover can, dude, what? Where the hell? The God's still here. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So besides that one, yes, I had to laugh with, you can get gas for $1.99 a gallon now. Where's he
It-
getting this $1.99 a gallon, guys? Where's
Yeah,
he getting
really.
that from?
One thing he did get right though, because he kept repeating it. But eggs are cheaper. Of course they're cheaper. We don't have the avian bird flu anymore.
Right.
What the fuck?
Just love that guy.
No, we're healthier than ever, and all this. And I'm going, really? We just reported 2 cases of documented measles here in this area.
Yeah.
And they're from kids that were in the daycare centers. So that means that if those kids were in the petri dish, there's a whole bunch of other kids that may have it. So
Yeah, no shit. What are your thoughts about the Greenland thing?
okay,
I mean,
my
everybody's
thoughts on
talking
the
about it.
Greenland thing. Leave Greenland alone.
Yeah, no shit.
Leave Greenland alone. And I'm so proud of Macron and
Yeah,
what do you call it? Germany coming and saying, "Okay, go ahead," and even Denmark coming in, and we know Denmark is ruthless as ever. Don't take the smiles for play. No,
Yeah.
it's like no. So as far as the whole NATO thing, if Trump even thinks about it, no, we'll be broken up. And this will play right into Putin's hand because this is exactly what Putin wants.
But
Um, mhm.
Russia, it's all a hoax. It was proven.
Really?
He's such a fucking asset for Putin. He proves it every day. I mean,
Right.
as I've said before with NATO was basically formed to protect everybody else from Russia. The only
Right.
person that wants NATO broken up is fucking Russia. And now
hmm
Donald Trump's. What's that tell you?
That tells me that Putin is pulling the strings heavily.
Always has been, always will. Did you guys hear this story? I heard it a number of times. I believe it's true that France and somebody else were concerned that Donald Trump was leaking information about the Putin Ukraine
Yeah.
interactions
Right. And
and stuff.
Ukraine went and actually got a French spy, gave them
Right.
Yeah.
misinformation,
Fake
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 information.
information.
Right. Related back over to the US. And what did we do? We spat the fake nonsense out.
Oh, for the love of God. Are you serious?
Well,
Serious.
listen, we need to keep doing that. They need to keep doing that because they need to give Russia disinformation about where Ukraine is going to strike and let them keep, making movements forward.
We're so
Oh, you can bet they're
I
going to
wouldn't
do that
say
now
I was
that they know it
surprised.
works.
They're
Yeah.
definitely going to do that now. But yes, Trucker, they definitely spat the fake nonsense right out.
Okay, so when was this? Was it like recently or was it like years past?
No, it's
No, this
recently.
past week.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We're fucked. Excuse my language. We're fucked, dude. And here's the
I mean, they
irony of
basically.
it all. I'm sitting here now watching the BBC News Network because I can't trust our news channel. And then they hear this. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, in what parallel universe is that not enough to get impeached? They send out fake information to check and see if Donald Trump is feeding it back to Putin. They get the fake information. It goes to Putin. The only way they could have gotten it is through Donald Trump. And that's not enough to say, oh, let's impeach this motherfucker, as opposed to, yeah, the Greenland is a red line. That seems like a red line. And it almost sounds a little like treason, too.
The thing
Venezuela
is,
should have been a red line. Heck, when he spouted out Muslim ban during his first administration, should have been a red
Yeah.
line.
it should have been. And if a Democrat had done half, even a third of what Donald Trump has done this
Uh-huh.
term alone,
Hell,
they would have been
Obama
ready
got
the
waved
gallows.
into the coals for a tan suit on Easter Sunday. A tan suit. Well, come on.
I
That
thought he
dude,
looked good. I
he
thought
did.
he
So did
looked good.
I.
I don't know about you.
Trump should have been spilled on the carpet before he was born. I'm
They're
sorry.
they're just they're just mad that Trump can't wear a tan suit because it stains too easily.
Okay, why
Yeah.
did you make me spit my wine out?
Oh, you heard me?
I'm glad you said that because I felt like I was being left hanging. I thought that was a good one, and
No.
nobody said a fucking word.
Oh my God.
Well, in fairness, I was muted, but I laughed.
Well, that's of no use to me. It's of fucking no use to me.
See, you
I need
guys
some
brought that.
reactions here.
Every time I have my mic on, I get in trouble, so I was muted. Sorry.
Well,
TJ just tried.
Trucker got me taken down on Saturday, so
Oh, bullshit. The live was over, and TJ said something at the end of the live, and they went bloop.
Hey, wait, hold on a second. Let me explain something. I went live on Saturday because of JD Farmer. It was his fucking idea. So I go live. The first 45 seconds I'm live, I get a violation. And I haven't even said a fucking word. I got a violation for graphic content in the video. And I'm sitting where I normally sit. And behind me, there's a poster that hangs up behind me that has like the monsters from like monster movies. It has like Dracula and Frankenstein. I got a violation for having the freaking monster poster in my goddamn live.
Wow.
Can you fucking believe that shit? I mean, come on,
I
TikTok.
think
what
I was
fuck?
the first person in your room.
Yeah, Eric was the first one there, and I got a violation before he even got there. Come on now.
Wow.
It's fucking stupid.
Thing again, because somebody asked me, and I don't know enough about it to explain that whole thing, but
Well, I understand, and I don't know the whole details, but I understand, and maybe Matrix knows better, but that Ukraine was worried about
Leaks.
getting information or leaks from Trump, the administration, to Russia about their communications. So by way of France, a spy from France or something, Ukraine created fake information. The spy sent it to Trump, and then it ended up back in the hands of Vladimir Putin in Russia. They got played. They got caught in a sting, if you will.
They got played lovely.
TJ, British
did.
John said he was the one that got you taken down, by the way.
I'm sure it was. That makes perfect sense. British.
That's why
John.
British John isn't getting on until the last minute here. I'll tell
Right,
you that right
exactly.
now. Well, Matrix, thanks for coming on. I'm going to try to get a bunch of people on, and we got a lot of people coming. But
Thank you,
you're
guys.
obviously
Have
welcome
a
back
great evening.
anytime. You too. All right. We're getting a lot of good people on here, but of course we always do. Let's see who
But,
else is
hey,
out there.
We got British
Yeah.
John out there. Where's Jay of the Canadian Path? I mean, what the fuck's going on here?
Well, Jay's there too.
Oh,
I tell
Hey,
you,
Mike.
I tell you what I'm not. I tell you what I'm not going to do is put Jay and British John on at the same fucking time.
Don't do
Just
it.
not doing that.
Hey, I want to say something real quick before I get in trouble again with my mic.
Yeah.
You know, what was that guy's name that was up here 2 people ago? Something Rob or Dob?
Yeah.
The real intelligent
Rob.
guy. Rob. Very intelligent. If everything that he was saying, had I listened to him 2 years ago, I'd have been like, that fucker's crazy. Right?
Yeah.
But you listen to him now, it's I can't believe that we're living in the world that we're living in for all of that stuff to be true. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. No, I agree. I mean, there's nothing unbelievable anymore. Everything is conceivable given the circumstances that we're dealing with now. The craziest fucking things we got to consider. Okay. Let's go to. All right. Smiley Lock Amy. Amy, how you doing? What are you thinking about? She's thinking about getting the motherfucker out of Dodge is what she's doing. She didn't know she didn't know that she see who else we got here. I got some regulars, but I'm trying to get other people on. Let's try Sweet Tea. Let's see if she shows up. I don't know what it is with TikTok. I accept them and then they don't show up out here. What the fuck?
And it's only going to
TikTok.
get worse.
They could have went to
It's
another
only gonna
live
get
too,
worse.
Mike. You know what I mean? Like their
Wait,
requests were just kind of hanging
a
out
minute.
there.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that while I'm doing my live, there are other lives?
I mean,
No. That's
okay,
not in
so
my contract.
in my profession, we have to have the really tough conversations, and this is one of them. Sorry, sir. Yes, that's
Wow. That is fucked up. Maybe that's why I'm only getting 400 people in here. Other people are doing fucking lives. Stop. We got some important shit to talk about here. All right, let's
do not bring up British John. He's already in the mood. I'm telling you right.
Is it?
Oh God.
You see, this is the thing. I don't mind getting taken down because I say something stupid, but I'm counting on this to be able to download it and record it for the podcast. If they take me down, then I got to do a whole nother fucking podcast. And what do we all know about Mike? He's a lazy bastard. Speaking of lazy bastards, let's see if Jay of the Canadian Way comes up. Jay, what's up?
Apart from apart from John's joke counter, not much. What do you think?
John's joke counter.
Oh, he's been
What's
cracking jokes left and right in the comments.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, yeah. I haven't been watching the comments as closely as some, but what's I know you're irritated. You're always irritated when you come here. What's fucking up?
Well, I mean, TJ probably knows this because I was on his live. I'm doing better now, in case you're wondering there, TJ. No, I watched the those Sasha Riley tapes, and I mean, obviously those things are harrowing. We know this. More than that, though, I
Yeah.
mean, I am at a whole new level. I'm like, no, let's, what? Now I'm starting to wonder, why did we ever do away with those old medieval punishments? Like, I'm not gonna, whatever.
No, well,
I'm
let
so
me ask
mad I
you this,
can't even
Jay.
think straight.
Let me ask you, Jay. I've listened to those tapes, not all of them, but most of them, and they are horrific. They are horrific. And it's very easy to get mad and say, yeah, that definitely happened because it sounds like Trump or it sounds like all the other people. My problem with it is I have yet to see any verification or absolute proof that it's real. And I know enough about social media and TikTok that I've seen people jump on bandwagons and then have to walk it back after when it's exposed that it's not real. Now, I'm not saying the Sasha Riley things aren't real, but I'm not willing to buy into it completely unless I know for sure.
Fair enough. I'm just saying, it's kind of messed up, but I almost want to believe it because it would justify every feeling that I have about this so-called man, about all his followers, about all of it. Because I am firmly believe that there is no redeeming MAGA. There is no.
I agree.
They're not. They're not. Oh, they're good people that were lied to. Fuck that. They are evil and they are drawn to evil, and this would
Yeah.
verify all of that.
Here's the thing, Jay. I understand what you're saying. I hope they're true just to take down Donald Trump and all the other people around it. There's another part of me that hope it's not true because it is so horrific. I mean, what we know of the Epstein files is horrific. If what we're hearing in these audio tapes is true, it takes it a step beyond. And I feel like at that point, if this is what's going on in this country and people have spent all this time and all these years covering it up, that all that may be left is to burn this motherfucker down, fumigate, and start over.
I get that. I think maybe not that in like the literal sense. I don't think we need to literally just destroy the entire country to get over this. What I do think we need to do, though, is, I mean, look, if I'm running for Congress, which I'm not old enough to do by a few years, unfortunately, I am running on a platform of vengeance and retribution against this entire administration, everyone who's in those files, and all the dumbass evil voters that supported it. I am
not
only
running
on a platform of vengeance.
I'm not running for any office, but I will run this show and TikTok and everything like that on that same platform. People say, what's going to happen when Donald Trump is done? And I will continue to go after those people who either stepped away or stand by Donald Trump because they are responsible for the mess we're in now and the messes we'll have to clean up and the suffering people will have to go through. Whether you're Donald Trump or the dumbass guy in some small town bar that voted for him, I hold you just as accountable.
Let me put it this way. We need to go from having an attitude of, oh, a Trump-la-fuck. Oh, how disgusting. Quick, dear, let's cross the street, to, he's a Trump-la-fuck. Get him.
Yeah. Well, I think some people are coming to that point.
Yeah, no,
I think
I have said this before, and I will continue to stand by it as always. If you voted for this man after January 6, 2021, that's treason and you should be prosecuted for it.
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm going to pull somebody else up here. We're getting down to the later stages, and John will suck up at least 10 minutes. So I want to get some other folks
God.
too. Let's see here. That person
Is that all
didn't
he's?
come
Is that
up.
all he's gonna suck up?
Oh,
You never
You're just
know.
setting yourself up, bud.
All right, we're pulling up Becca. Becca, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Becca.
I have a lot of thoughts. Been listening, and this is my first time listening to you guys. And first
Nice to
time
meet you
calling.
too.
Thanks. So, I think one of the things that, like, now that we're on this topic of like people who voted MAGA,
Yeah.
my concern is beyond the era of Donald Trump. What can change those, the hatred in the hearts of minds of people, and make them recognize the kind of ignorance that they've been living? Any ideas?
It's not ignorance. It's just evil. These people are defective to the core, and nothing will ever fix them.
Well, Becca, I think to a certain extent, Jay is right. There is a faction of people, maybe 20% of Republicans, maybe 25% of Republicans, you'll never be able to change. I mean, I think racist, misogynist, and anti-Semites have been around since the beginning of time. They
Right,
seemed to go away for a period, but they just went under their rocks and hid because it wasn't comfortable for them to come out. Donald Trump made it comfortable.
right.
But it's going to, a lot of Republicans that voted for Donald Trump just did it because they can't stand Democrats and they always vote Republican. And still, shame on them for not understanding what's going on. You may be a Republican, but you still voted for what essentially is evil. To get them to change, we're going to have to change the culture of this country entirely. We're going to have to change the way government runs. One of the problems we have here is this government is not run by the people, it's run by money. And that's one of the things we have to change.
So you would be probably for getting rid of Citizens United? I mean,
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I
Fuck
think
yeah.
that's fair
Yeah,
to
it
say that
is.
would be a
Kidding me?
great way to start,
Are you
and then maybe
fucking
some
kidding me?
campaign finance reform.
campaign finance
Yeah.
reform, age limits.
That's
Yeah,
my number one issue that I fucking hate.
I
Like
agree.
I talk about it all the time about how we have to dismantle that with legislation. It has to be
Absolutely.
done.
Yeah.
When 2028 comes, the first thing that needs to be done is pack the Supreme Court and overturn Citizens United with legislation. That's the only way we can fix this country. If we don't do that, we're fucked.
I 100% agree. Yeah. Yes.
What part of the country are you in, Becca?
I'm in Wisconsin, Milwaukee.
Okay, I'm in Minnesota. We're
Yep, we're
neighbors here.
neighbors.
You're awful
Yeah.
calm to be in Milwaukee.
Oh, I spend a lot of time meditating.
Okay, because I'm like, you're awful calm
Otherwise, I
to
wouldn't
live
be
in
able
Milwaukee.
to. No, but I get
Becca,
out and protest on the weekends and such with the group. So, yeah.
Becca, what age group are you in? You're not a boomer. You're not a are you a millennial?
I'm an older
Gen
millennial.
Z?
Yeah. I'm about 40.
Older millennial.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say
The
older
reason I ask,
millennial.
yeah, that's another guy on TikTok who's a piece of shit. But as a millennial, I have two sons and a daughter-in-law that are millennials, and I often wonder what they're thinking about at this point. You know, millennials will blame boomers for the position we're in now, and to a certain extent, they're
Sure.
right about that. In spite of the fact that I'm a boomer, I'm a younger boomer.
Right.
Do you think people of your generation realize how critical these next elections are?
Oh, yes.
Millennials and Gen Zs are going to be the biggest voting blocks in 2028, beating out boomers and Gen Xers. My biggest concern
They lost the
in doing
podcasters.
what I do here. What's that?
MAGA lost the podcasters. I
Well,
mean,
yeah, they did. They
the
did.
podcasters that got a lot of Gen Z to vote for Republicans in 2024, they lost them. And
Yeah.
that's how you know this is all. That's how you know this is coming to an end, is because everyone's running away from this whole thing.
Right. So Becca,
Yeah.
the reason I do this stuff on TikTok and whatever is not for me, because my life is fine and it's not going to change. I get irritated by evil and I get irritated by people that are doing the wrong things, and I feel
Hmm.
compelled to speak out. But my biggest concern is my kids who are
Yes.
millennials and my grandkids.
Hmm.
You know, my concern is we got old people like me going to make choices. We will die, and then you will have to live with it. Do you
Right.
think millennials understand this, and they're going to be in a position to take control? So
You know,
will they?
that's a really great question. And I think that you bring up a lot of really interesting points. I think there definitely is um, some sort of miscommunication across the generations. And like
Yeah.
I think we're all overall we have the same arching goals. I think we are concerned about the future, being that a lot of millennials are parents. Um, you know, they're concerned about quality of education, safety of schools, for the people pursuing higher education, the cost of that, and the student loan crisis, which guaranteed will be a defining thing moving forward. That will really it will shape a lot of what you see as far as financial crises among the generations for the
Right.
future. So I do think the millennials, I can only really speak for millennials. I have some Gen Z siblings actually. Um, but I think as far as the millennials go, they're very aware of it. And I think, unfortunately, although history does show that we've kind of been set up for failure, and I think that's why there's a lot of
Oh, I agree.
negativity towards older generations.
I
Um,
agree. That's
yeah,
true. We are with the whole. Personally, I think we've got an epidemic of stupid, and it's a crisis. So we need to give
yeah,
anybody who wants free education, to give it to them, so we can raise the intellectual level of this
right,
country. I think
right,
student loan forgiveness is absolutely necessary. Not to give
definitely.
anybody a
Uh,
break,
Yeah,
but
I'm
if
actually really
people like
concerned.
you,
Did you hear about the proposal of wage garnishments for those types of
I
loans?
did,
That's
I
actually
did.
terrifying for people who are still trying to establish their careers. That's
They
going to
No,
backed
well,
cripple
off.
that's
people.
They did
that's
back
my
off
point,
though.
Becca.
Pardon?
That's what's that, Trucker?
I said they did back off.
Okay.
Whatever her name is came out, McMahon
Okay.
lady, and said that they're not going to garnish them for now because basically they're just too busy.
Well, I mean, that
Yeah.
makes sense. They
Well,
have
how
a budget
delightful.
crisis that they're going to be having to figure out very shortly. That date of the extension is coming up real soon. I think it's the end of this month, actually.
Yep.
Right.
Point of order. Point of order. If you join a union construction trades, the education is free. So I'm just
Nice.
throwing that out there.
Yeah, that's good information.
But Becca, where I think people fall short here is everybody thinks, well, Becca's got student loans. We're just going to give her a handout and
Mm,
pay it off for her, so her life is easier. But what people miss is millennials and Gen Zs. They are going to be the driving force behind our economy. If
mhm.
they're saddled with debt, they can't buy houses from the boomers or are counting on it for
Mhm.
their fucking retirement. They can't buy cars. They can't take trips, and it's going to destroy the economy. I don't
Yeah,
care if you think it's a free ride for millennials and Gen Zs, but the fact of the matter is it's going to fuck up the economy because the way
yeah,
you played this out. You're
very
right.
true.
You're right that now I have a son that's 38 years old,
True.
and he's a millennial.
Hmm.
And one day he doesn't give me shit about boomers and millennials anymore because he said to me, the boomers are selfish. And I go, yeah, I know they're selfish and it's their fault. And I go, yeah, it's probably their fault. But I reminded him of a day when he was 8 years old. And I said, this is coming from a guy who forced me to buy $200 worth of plastic Batman shit. So don't tell me about selfish.
Right. Mike, can I just say this real quick while you're talking
Yeah.
about this? This is how out of touch they are. And I'm glad Becca brought this up because Scott Bessent was on TV today and he was basically saying that,
What a
hey,
fucking
if people are struggling, like Becca's saying with the student loans and all that, they've got 5, 10, or 12 homes. They can just sell some of those and recoup their money. Who the fuck has 5, 10, or 12 homes?
Yeah. Scott Bessent is a douchebag. He is a hypocrite. He is a traitor to his people. And I can't wait to be all over his shit when he's out of power.
To Vincent in the comments asking why do people think conservative is a good way of governing? They don't. It's literally, there is no such thing as the political right. It's literally just a front for sick and or evil people to do sick and or evil shit because they get off on it. That's literally the only reason anyone votes conservative anymore, is because deep down they're sick and they want to hurt people.
Well,
Absolutely.
but
Absolutely.
also they're scared of anything that's new or different.
That, like, fear and anger, pretty much. That's all it is fear and
As
anger.
far as the generation,
And what does fear and anger lead to? Everybody saw Star Wars. Come on.
Yeah.
You know,
as far as the generational gap, though,
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Go
Becca.
ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay.
You're
Well,
the guest.
all I wanted to say was I heard you about to talk about the generational gap and ideas and such, and I just to touch on something. I think the most important thing that needs to happen is intergenerational conversations,
Yeah.
because I think those conversations may happen between, like, say, my grandparents who are boomers. Well, actually, my parents are young boomers, and my grandparents are boomers as well. And I think it's really important to have those conversations, because I don't think people outside of your family even know the struggles that you're going through, and maybe your family doesn't either. And I think that it's a really difficult way, or a really easy way, to be out of touch with difficult things that different generations are facing.
Let me give you a story. I just talked to a boomer, guy I went to school with. Never liked him. He was nothing but a weirdo burnout when we were in school. Burnout means a druggie, Becca.
Yeah, I know what that means.
Anyway, he's a big time Trump humper, and I saw something on Facebook, and I was talking how bad things are, and whatever. And this is what he says to me. He said, "Well, tell me when it gets bad for me, because I'm over in Spain." I said, "Typical Trump-a-fuck. As long as I'm okay, fuck everybody else." And that's the attitude with a lot of boomers and a lot of people in
Yes.
this country. If I'm
That's the
okay,
problem.
everything's beautiful. I
That's
said,
the
"You have
problem.
kids and grandkids. You don't care about them?" And then he stopped talking to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, these
that's the
intergenerational
problem.
conversations definitely need to happen. I'm really proud to be an active member for the Women Leagues of Voters. And
Good.
that is a group that is predominantly, in, at least in Milwaukee, it is older individuals. And I think it's really important to have those conversations generationally. And so I'm really proud to be part of a group that has those discussions of, like, what's impacting, my generation? What problems do we see coming up the pipeline?
Becca, do
And
you post content on TikTok?
I do not. I'm a little shy. Actually,
You should.
I
You
don't mind
should.
talking, but I do get a little shy. So,
You should.
oh, well, thank you.
Go ahead.
Appreciate it.
Go ahead, TJ.
And that's part of the problem. You hit the nail right on the head. And because that's the problem in labor unions too, is that everybody's out there, the younger generations, and I'm not talking shit on them, but
Mhm.
the status quo right now is hooray for me and fuck everybody else.
Sure.
yep.
And
Yeah.
that's a big ass problem in this country.
Yeah.
It's not hooray for me and fuck everybody else. It's help your neighbor,
Mhm.
help your friend, help your coworker. Like, it's not
Yeah.
hooray for me and fuck everybody else. Like, and that's the Republican mantra. Hooray for me and fuck everybody else. And it
Very,
makes me
very
sick.
motivated by self-interest, for sure.
Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
me sick that they act like that because
It's
it's
old.
a,
It's old Stone Age bullshit.
yeah,
that-
it's disgusting. It's just inhumane. Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why would you take joy in the fact that you're successful or you're doing okay, and then the person next to you is suffering?
Yeah.
That-
No,
Yeah.
It's a
I totally get it.
disgusting premise.
Yeah.
Well, Becca, I'm going to let you go because we're getting toward the end, and I got to get British John up here. Otherwise, he'll hack
You're
my
right.
shit, and I'll be
Oh
all
no.
ripped out.
Mike, before you drop Becca, can I say this?
Go ahead.
Before you drop her, I want to say this real quick. I've never said this on your show, and you can attest to it. Everybody
keep it
in this
clean.
live, everybody in this live should go out and follow Becca right now. If you're
Oh
not,
my gosh, you
she
guys.
has
Please
159
don't
followers.
literally follow her, though.
Let's get that up. I've already followed her.
Oh
She's
my
Please
gosh,
don't,
thanks,
please don't
guys.
literally follow her. All those stories end very badly.
No.
Nice, Jay.
Yeah, but follow Becca, and Becca, do some content.
Okay.
And if nothing else, come back on the live again and talk because I enjoy hearing from the younger generation. Talking to old fucks and Jay isn't always that fun. So young people.
Well,
Anyway,
I'm glad
Becca,
to join, and thanks for bringing me on. I appreciate it.
no problem. Thank you, Becca.
Thank
One last
This is
thing
the one
about-
thing I love doing about the lives is we do get some great people that come up. We are coming toward the end. Hopefully we'll make it without being taken down. And I'm rolling the dice
Jay.
right now because
Jay,
here comes
are you
British
ready?
Oh
John.
no,
Are you ready? Jay, are you
Hey,
ready?
British John.
probably not. Probably not.
Look at that shit-eating grin on his face.
Good evening, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
that's what he was swallowing.
Here we go.
Jay, I saw a lovely picture of you and your mum the other day. It looked like you were on a Tinder date. One of you was enjoying it, and the other one realized it was illegal in 48 states.
Wow. Fucking
Ouch.
wow.
Just
Okay.
Good night,
John,
everybody.
I just want John, I just want you to understand something. I need to be able to download this for a podcast, or after this, I got to do another hour on my own. I'm not going to be happy about that.
can you last an hour on your own? I don't know. How much imagination do you have?
Oh, I did it yesterday. Fuck it.
Hey, hold on a minute. If British John gets the live taken down, he has to do the podcast with you. How about that?
Okay, fair enough.
That's a fair fucking
enough.
deal, right?
That's a fair deal. So, what's on your mind, John?
Well, can I just you guys were talking about, someone said I was getting spicy. Yes, because I happen to have been writing jokes for the JD Vance situation. So I just want to run these by you guys. Usha Vance, a Yale law litigator, currently serving a life sentence as a 3D printer for JD Vance's ego.
I like it. Relatively clean.
4 kids isn't a family plan, it's a panic room. JD's building a biological human shield against the terrifying concept of a woman with a hobby.
Yeah, I like it.
JD Vance didn't want a fourth child. He wanted a prop that is legally too young to cringe when he walks in the room. She is providing the one thing his campaign can't buy: a constituent who cannot legally leave.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
Let's just pray the baby inherits her intellect and not his eyeliner. If it comes out squinting and blaming immigrants for the price of milk,
It's
and I
getting
will
dark.
not finish that sentence, boys and girls, as a matter of principle. I think we all knew where
Thank
that
you.
was going.
It's getting dark. It's getting dark in here.
That's what the kid
Now-
would have said at that last moment.
Now, put it this way to TJ. I'm seeing a thing that says invite Trumper 33 to join as a guest. Get rid of that motherfucker right now if he's out there. I'm not a comedian, British John, but I suggested that maybe if JD Vance was concerned about paternity and, the idea that JD Vance could create another human or be even involved in that kind of interaction, that maybe he would send a couch cushion off to get DNA verification.
Look, I heard it and it wasn't funny, but it was a nice attempt. But Trucker's going to.
That was a bad.
No,
That was a
it's
bad
fine.
choice.
Trucker's going to come. Trucker's going to bring you some pudding later. You'll feel better. But
Now I might get us kicked off the air.
Right.
But
What did I do?
what would have what would have been funny if you'd have said that this is the baby of Ashley Madison, the affair, the affair with Erica on Ashley Madison and Ashley Furniture. And actually, those two things together, that shit's funny. You see, Ashley Madison and Ashley Furniture, that's a solid premise right there.
That's kind of a stretch, but we have different senses of humor. We can live together in unity, even though we might have different senses of humor.
That's very kind of you, and thank you, Deanna. Don't buy tickets for my next show. Tomorrow night, Sunnybell, Rooster T. Feathers. Yeah. But let me be serious for a minute. Let me for those of you who don't know, hi, I'm British John. I'm a former military intelligence hacker. Back when NATO clearance was still a thing, and what I've been doing over the past couple of weeks, I still have access to certain what we call cable information, and so I've been assembling every week a report of what the rest of the world thinks of America, using only sources from what I will call trusted news sources and from leaked intelligence data, which I know I can verify, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And if you have any interest in this at all, boys and girls, then go to Substack and British John, and you can read them there. Because I'm not going to read them out to you because it's kind of dry. I do put jokes in there where we talk about Greenland and the Golden Dome, which does sound like Stephen Miller's P videos. But
Yeah.
I swear to God, when Stephen Miller talks about Greenland, it sounds like an episode of that, King of Thrones friggin' episode,
Game of
I
Thrones.
am the dark. I will be the dark white of the north.
He's a little dramatic.
He looks like the kind of guy that wears the key to the cellar around his neck as a reminder that he still loves you and might let you out one day. Just something I was thinking. Have you ever noticed that you've never seen Putin and Miller in the same room at the same time? Just saying.
That's true. That's this guy reminds me of a guy when in my wilder days in high school or college that I would have beat him up just on principle, just by the way he looked and the way he acted. He was a douchey piece of shit when he was a kid, because I've seen the videos when he was in high school. He was no different. He was this fucking guy.
Some people have a face that begs to be punched, and it's only saddening me that we've continued that unbroken streak.
Yeah, I agree with him. I
came up with that line. I came up with that line a few days ago on one of my videos for the MAGA people, which if you've not seen them, boys and girls, my new policy is to. That's what we need to talk about, Boomer. That's what we need to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. There is a gentleman, an Irishman living in Holland, who has put together a Wikipedia type thing of all the ICE officers they've been able to identify. I'm going to be.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and we want to be careful because apparently the word is a trigger word for bad things happening to people's lives. So, boys and girls, afterwards, Google is your friend. But this gentleman, I've done a video about it. Go watch the video. He has put, what I love about this is it's very easy. If you don't want your name on this public list, then it's very easy to be removed. You just have to submit your resignation, and they will remove you from the list. And I think that's very fair. But another creator had an even better idea. Well, now we're publishing where they live. You could just go and talk to them on their day off, because then they're a private citizen. You're a private citizen. What could possibly go wrong?
I would never suggest that they do that, but that's certainly an option.
I mean, what's wrong with having a cup of tea?
Yeah, exactly.
I think if you ask Jay's dad that, Joe, you ask the question, you get a very interesting answer.
So, British John, as a military guy, what do you think is happening with Greenland? Is he going to send troops in there and blow it all up, himself included?
It's an interesting one. So there's this, like I said, it's on Substack. It's a serious, there's jokes in it, but there is a serious thing. The premise, I'm reading this. The premise is absurd, naturally, but the consequences are decidedly lethal. As of January 2026, the United States has issued a binary ultimatum: sell Greenland to facilitate the Golden Dome missile defense system or face economic strangulation. The current administration has scheduled a 10% tariff on 8 NATO allies, remember that word, allies, including the UK, France, Germany, to commence on January 1st. Here's the thing. Somebody has said that if he tries and does this, the generals won't go along with it.
Yeah.
Don't know if you guys are familiar with the 52nd state of the United States, Venezuela.
Yeah.
But apparently they will.
Okay.
You only need so much. You only need enough people to go along with it. Now, somebody was saying, will the Republicans go along with it? Here's the thing. At some point, you have to assume the old-fashioned Republicans are going to cut the cancer out. And that is what the 25th Amendment is for, or impeachment, which they would support. Because the only thing that Republicans hate more than Trump is being out of power.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It is not a situation they want to be in. And as those midterm results are staring them, I'm not saying they're going to turn desperate, but, they will turn feral.
Oh, yeah. Well, I expected that long before now, though. I thought, they maybe have a little foresight and say, oh, this is going wrong. Maybe we better cut it off before it gets too bad. But that clearly didn't happen.
I was writing about this earlier on. I was going to do a video. I'm conflicted on this one. I became an American citizen, 19 weeks ago, a bit more than that.
Yeah.
I'm still British. So, but here's the thing. If I seek to undermine the government, if I do anything about it, it's not treason, because I would be supporting my solemn oath to the Constitution. I didn't pledge fealty to an orange bag of Cheetos. I pledged it to the thing. Actually, Kelly, I'm going to be serious. I don't carry my papers. And let me be clear about this, why I don't. I refuse to carry my papers. Now, that's not strictly true. I actually have my driving license in my phone case, but it's turned back to front. And there are 2 stickers, one of Nietzsche and one of Brian Holtzman. If you know, you know. That cover it so that you can't see it there, and it's just for my emergencies. I'm actually looking forward to being picked up by ICE. I'm actually planning on it. I'm being serious now. So I had I don't think I've been on it. I had a bit of spinal surgery over the New Year's period.
Right.
My doctor cleared me today to get back on my treadmill, thankfully. I am planning in the next couple of weeks to be in San Jose. ICE has been congregating around the SAP Arena car park. We are going down there with cameras and some of the local open mic comedians and a bullhorn, and I will be roasting ICE. If you want to see what I do, boys and girls, just go to TikTok. You can watch the videos. This is my happy place. Yeah. And so I've been writing these roasts for a while. I can't use any of them. That's how dark they are. But if I get picked up, I will keep my mouth shut. I went through 6 years of counterterrorism training. Trust me, I'm going to have fun. I have been trained for, and I have been waiting for this to happen. Okay, this is my happy place. Misinformation is where I start the day. Okay. Trust me, I have a list of people I don't like and haven't liked for a long time. I am going to go full McCarthy on them. I am going to snitch on people I don't like just to have something to do. Okay? And understand, yes.
If ICE stops you, just show them the picture of Jay's mom and they'll let you go.
Because they'll all know her.
Jesus.
Seriously, it's
Look at
weird.
Dogpile right now.
No, your mom was the only one there. It wasn't a pile of them, but just one bitch. Seriously, look, Jay. Don't listen to them. They say some truly horrible things. They really do. I want to say that's
Oh,
not true.
you're one to talk.
Yeah, your mother was not patient zero for drug resistant gonorrhea. Okay, that was your dad. That is
Wow.
yeah, that's
Wow.
yeah. Is it true she had her own parking space at Planned Parenthood? Just I didn't realize how
Well,
lucky you
look at
were.
the time.
Car must have broken down
Look,
that day.
look at the time.
There was the perfect joke to be made about a car breaking down, but I can't do that. I can't do that.
That's,
Wow.
it's very
You
few
ever-
people that are born with ear piercings, but if the wire hanger doesn't work the first time, maybe the second.
If you've ever heard the term "get while the getting's good," this is the definition of it. So, British John, thank you for joining us. Trucker T, Analytical Iowan, Rebecca, and Jay, TJ, and Jay, and Matrix, and Optimistic, and all of you. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm going to get out of here while I still can. Thank you very much. Thank you for taking the time to listen. I hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.